Now let's look at how to add the locations of different crimes on the map. To do that, I've got the map that I've just been working on in the previous video. The outline of campus is all made here. And I've also got my trusty list of crimes that I want to add to the map. Now, here I'm working with crimes from February of 2022. In the lesson, I'll give you a link to the live crime report for MTSU, and I want you to pull um, uh, at least 5 to 7 crimes from that report to put on your map and also to write about in your write-up about the map. So I'm just using these for illustration purposes. When you go to the MTSU crime report, though, they will look like this. This is the format. I copied these directly from the crime report, so this is what you'll actually see. If you've never looked at a police log before, there's no standard format for these things. They vary quite a bit. But in some way, shape, or form, they're generally going to give you the date and time of the incident, a little description of the incident, and the location as to where it happened. In this case, right here, this is Deer Hall, 1619. So this is a domestic assault that happened at Deer Hall, and the location, the specific address, on February 6, 2022, at 2300 hours. That's military time. Basically, if you're not familiar with how to read military style time, um, um, uh, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, those correspond to 1, 2, and 3 a.m. In the morning, 3 hours past midnight. And that's the pattern all the way up through noon, which is 1200 hours. And then when you get to 1 p.m., instead of going back to 01 as a conventional clock or analog clock might do, um, it just keeps going. So 1300 hours is 1 p.m., 1400 hours is 2 p.m., and so on. So this 2300 hours, this is 11 p.m., 1 hour before midnight, 2400 hours. And so this happened actually kind of late in the day. But let's get this thing on the map. So we need to switch back to the map, and let's see. This is Deer Hall, right? So let's go back to the map and find Deer Hall on the map. Now you may not know where that is. I'll give you a link in the D2L assignment to a more detailed map of campus that will help you find things that you're not aware of. But I do happen to know that, as you might, Deer Hall is one of the residential halls that is down here. Let's see, it's kind of near this area. Ah, there it is, right there, Deer Hall. All right. So what we're going to do is, in a second, is we're going to use this add marker tool to just drop a marker right here on top of Deer Hall and then fill in some information. In fact, let's see. Let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to click the add marker tool right here. Notice my cursor's changed to that little cross symbol right there, and I'm just going to drop this marker right on top of Deer Hall just by clicking. Okay, and go ahead and click Save. Now this default that you're going to get, we've got basically 2 information areas, this sort of title area and this sort of detail area here. We're actually not going to use these defaults, and I'll show you why in a second. But go ahead and click Save, and then close this out. And then, there's something else I should have done. My apologies. We should have added a new layer for this. Let's go ahead and do that. Because having your marker points and your line for the border in the same layer is going to cause a little bit of trouble. So let's go ahead and add a new layer right here. Just click Add Layer, and we get a whole nother layer down here. And this is really where we want to put these markers. So sorry, that's my mistake. Let me delete this one. I'm just going to click on it again, choose the trash can. There we go. And now come down, click on this untitled layer here, the second layer. Make sure that that's what I'm working in. And let me put my point down there. There we go. See, now it's down in the second layer instead of back up here in the first layer that had the campus line on it. All right, so now I'm ready to go back and customize these information fields. They're going to pop up when the window shows up. Let me show you how to do that. You've seen this before. You just click these 3 little dots right here and open the data table that's associated with this layer that we just created, right? And by default, we get this name and description field. The problem with using these is that the titles, name and description are going to show up in the pop-up window, and they're not really descriptive of what's going to be in that area in the pop-up window. So what we really need to do is add additional fields that have labels that more clearly indicate the information that we're going to be putting in the pop-up window. So let's do that. Just come to the last one, description. Click the little down arrow, and choose insert column. Let's do insert column after. That'll put it to the right of this one. And now we get to specify what the title is going to be. So let's call this incident. Incident, like that. Okay. It's going to be text. That's fine. Click add. And we're going to use this field to specify what kind of a crime it was, if it was an assault or if it was DUI or whatever. And we're also going to want a separate field to specify the location and the time. So I want to add fields for those as well. So let's come to incident, the one we just created, and insert a column after that. And let's call this one location. Okay, and add. And then after location, let's add yet another one, column after. Let's call this time. Well, maybe date and time, like that. Okay. All right. So now that that's done, we can close the edit data table window and click save here. Well, let's not click save yet. Notice now we've got all this information here that we can fill in. So let's go ahead and do that. So what happened at Deer Hall, according to the crime map? Let's see, Deer Hall. That was a domestic assault. Okay, so let's call it that. And where did it happen? It happened at Deer Hall. And I think we have a little bit. Do we have more information? Nope, we don't. It's just Deer Hall. So let's call it that. Okay, and date and time. So this is February 6th at 2300 hours. Let's go ahead and convert that to conventional time. I think that'll be easier for people to read. So February 6th, 2022 at 11 p.m. Like that. And then click save. Okay, so now we've got our first incident recorded. Now, when the window pops up, we really don't want users to see point one and a blank description. So just like you've done on other maps, let's go ahead and edit this detail window like this. And let's see, we don't really want the description to show, so let's uncheck that. And we don't want this point one to be the title that shows in the pop-up window. Let's go instead with incident as the title, like that. And then we'll have to uncheck name as well. And then click save. So we're going to show the incident type as the title for the pop-up for the detail window. And then location and date and time also. So we click save. And so that's what this is going to look like now. When someone clicks on this Deer Hall icon, it's going to say, hey, there was a domestic assault here at Deer Hall, February 6th at 11 p.m. And the domestic assault title is also going to be what's going to show up over here in the map key over on the left. All right. So that's how to add a crime incident to your map. Let's do another one, and then I'll do the rest of them kind of off camera. Let's see, what else do we have? We have the next one. We have an assault with bodily injury that happened at Scarlet Commons Apartment 6. That's a residence hall area on campus, and that was on the next day, February 7th, at about 12:19 p.m. It looks like, so 19 minutes after noon. Okay, so let's go find Scarlet Commons Apartment 6 I assume that's building 6, and drop a marker there. All right, so back to the map. Scarlet Commons is over toward this area of campus. It's right, let's see, right in here. Ah, there it is. Scarlet Commons, building 6, right? Um, yeah, well, it's apartment 6. I assume that is in building 6. In real life, you would want to get on the phone with the police and make sure that that's the location for that one. But let's drop another marker there. Again, just click the add marker icon and then click here. And so we've got our fields to add in. So let's see, this is where it happened. Let's say this was an assault with bodily injury, right? Oops. And Scarlet has 2 T's, is that right? Yep, 2 T's. And let's see, let's get the date and time for this. This is February 7th, 12:19 p.m. Okay, there we go. And then click Save. And so now we have that marker with the information on the detail window, and that assault with bodily injury has also been added over here on the layer name. We'll style all of this here in a minute. Let me do one more, because there's one here that's a little bit unusual compared to the others. The rest of them are fairly standard, but what happens when we get down to this one, and all of a sudden I see that we have a suspect's name here, and I want to add that to the map, and I perhaps didn't anticipate that that was coming. Well, fortunately, it's really easy to do. All you have to do, let's see, this is also Scarlet Commons. This time it's I blacked out the apartment number here, but it's room 4 something, so I'm going to assume that's in building 4. Again, you would want to check this out with the police. You don't have to do that for your assignment, but if you were actually publishing this map in Sidelines or something, you would definitely want to get your facts straight before you put anything like that out there. But let's assume that it's this. Okay, so I can drop my marker on building 4, but notice that I don't have a field for the suspect's name, and I want to put that in there. Well, it's easy enough to add it even after the fact. Let's go ahead and click Save for now, and then come back to the layer that is containing our points here. Click on the 3 dots, open up the data table again right here. And let's see, we're going to put this, I'm going to put this right after the date and time field. So again, just insert column after. And I'll just call this, how about arrests? Or no, not, because everybody's not arrested, they're citations. Let's just call this details. How about that? That's pretty wide open. We could put anything in there. And then click Add. And so now I've got this a little bit of additional real estate. Close this data table window back out. And when I go to edit this particular one, now I can add, not only is it, let's see, what was this again? This was underage alcohol consumption. So let's call it, so that's the, oops, I'll put that in the wrong place. Let's copy that out of there. It actually goes up here. And let's see, the location is Scarlet Commons. Building 4. The date and time was February 19th at 2:03 a.m. Early drinker. February 19th, 2:03 a.m. And in the detail section here, I'll go ahead and put down the information about the suspect. So I'm not going to show you this person's name. Let's make one up. Let's say this was Joe Smith. Okay, apologies to all the Joe Smiths out there. Um, Joe Smith, he was a 19-year-old. Let's see, was he arrested or cited? He was issued a citation. Oops, go back here. If you hold down your control key and your enter key, you can do a little formatting in this window. That's how I got Joe Smith on the second line without actually closing out the window. Joe Smith, who's 19, and Joe is a white male. Yeah, we'll stop at that. Okay. There we go. So yeah, click save. And so now we've got that additional information there. Okay. So the thing I want you to see there is that you don't always have to have all of the fields that you want to put in these detail windows planned in advance. As you're entering data into the map, you come across something that you want to include. You can certainly just easily add a field there. And if you want, you could go back and edit the other things that we've already entered. See, right now it might look kind of bad to have just details blank like that. Well, you can just go back and add an NA like this, not applicable or something like that. And do the same for the Deer Hall incident that we've already coded right here. Okay. You can also add these additional bits of information from the data layer as well. If I open the data table up here, I can go in and add it. I can edit this thing if that's any easier to do. Okay, so there's multiple ways to get information on your map. Okay, so rather than boring you with making you watch me add all the rest of them, I'm going to add those off camera, and then come back and we'll do some styling on these icons in this this map key area over here.